Hello, basketball fans. Today marks the thrilling finale of the NBA's regular season, and as tradition holds, the final matchups often bring unexpected outcomes. Gear up for some laughs and lively cheering, as we've selected 7 out of today's jam-packed 15 games that really spark our curiosity and tickle our predictive senses. Let's jump into the excitement without delay. The first prediction for today is for the game between Atlanta Hawks and Indiana Pacers. As the regular season comes to a close, the Atlanta Hawks are set to clash with the Indiana Pacers at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, marking a critical showdown for both squads. Positioned 10th in the Eastern Conference, the Hawks are grappling with a 5-game slide, their playoff aspirations hanging by a thread in the play-in games. On the flip side, the Pacers, who sit 6th in the conference, could climb the ranks with a victory today, adding a bit more zest to this face-off. A review of the Hawks' latest performances highlights several defensive frailties, with the team conceding an average of 120.2 points per game, placing them near the bottom of the league rankings. Shooting struggles are evident too, with a 46.6% success rate from the field, while their adversaries have managed a 49.3% shooting percentage against them. Injuries have not been kind to the Hawks either, with key players Saddiq Bey and Onyeka Okongwu sidelined, further crippling their defensive efforts. Contrastingly, the Pacers boast a formidable attack this season, topping the NBA charts with an average of 122.9 points per game and a solid 50.5% field goal percentage. The duo of Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam has been pivotal in fueling this scoring machine. However, the Pacers share a similar Achilles heel with the Hawks in terms of defense, surrendering 120.2 points per game and ranking last in opponent field goal percentage at 49.7%. Past encounters in Indianapolis slightly tilt in favor of the Pacers, who have a history of thriving at home. The Pacers' offensive might seem to get a boost from the home crowd and the familiarity of their court. The recent track record in this venue also suggests a trend of Pacers prevailing. Both teams are rebounding from recent losses, making their response to these setbacks crucial. Notably, the Pacers have displayed resilience, managing to bounce back with strong performances after defeats. They've consistently covered the spread in their last 7 games post-loss, indicating a pattern of robust recoveries. Considering the Pacers' offensive firepower and the Hawks' defensive troubles, compounded by the Hawks' recent poor form and injury woes, the Pacers appear set to capitalize. Yet, the Hawks, with Trae Young back in the lineup and boosting their offense, could keep the game tighter than anticipated. The setting at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, alongside both teams' potent offenses and lax defenses, predicts a high-scoring game. The game's line is set at 238 points, hinting at an anticipated shootout. However, with so much at stake, a tighter defense could emerge, possibly keeping scores below expectations. Wrapping up, while the Pacers have much to gain and the Hawks seem to be at a disadvantage, the unpredictability of the NBA might flip the script. Though the Pacers are favored to win, the Hawks could well surprise and cover the 14-point spread, aiming to conclude their regular season on a higher note. Anticipate a spirited contest, but the Pacers' efficiency and home advantage are likely to prevail. My prediction leans towards the Hawks covering the 14-point spread. The next prediction for today is for the game between Toronto Raptors and Miami Heat. As the Toronto Raptors prepare to face off against the Miami Heat at the Kaseya Center, the matchup holds significant playoff implications for the Heat as they aim to enhance their postseason placement. Let's delve into the dynamics of this contest for a savvy betting perspective. The Miami Heat, playing on their home court, have shown formidable strength, having previously outpaced the Raptors with a commanding 125-103 win. As the playoffs loom, Miami's push to climb the seeding ladder could prove decisive. Jimmy Butler and Tyler Herro, Miami's standout scorers, are crucial to their strategy. Herro's precision from three-point range has been notably impactful, a key advantage against a Raptors defense that's vulnerable on the perimeter. On the other side, the Raptors are concluding a lackluster season, absent from playoff contention and experiencing team restructuring. R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley have been bright spots, though their play has lacked consistency. The team has struggled with defensive weaknesses and scoring inefficiencies, as seen in their latest games. When it comes to matchups, Miami's top-tier defense, ranking 6th in efficiency, is likely to suppress the disjointed Raptors offense. The Heat's methodical gameplay and defensive strength should starkly contrast the Raptors' faltering defense, a notable shortfall. Injury updates reveal potential absences for Miami, including Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson, possibly affecting their lineup depth. The Raptors, too, face challenges with missing players like Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl, slightly tipping the scales towards Miami, known for their resilience even with key absences. Reviewing head-to-head trends and recent performances, Miami holds an advantage, especially in managing the spread against teams on a losing streak. The Raptors have had trouble against more formidable opponents. Considering Miami's motivational push and their defensive and recent performance edge over the Raptors, Miami is poised for a win. However, given Miami's pattern of playing close games against weaker opponents and the considerable point spread, Toronto might just beat the spread. The prediction favors a Miami victory, but with the Raptors likely covering a generous 16-point spread, capitalizing on Miami's potential slow start due to the early game time and the reduced urgency of being heavy favorites. I'd place my bet on the Toronto Raptors to beat the spread. The next prediction for today is for the game between Chicago Bulls and New York Knicks. As the Chicago Bulls head to Madison Square Garden to face off against the New York Knicks this Sunday, the game promises a clash of contrasting styles. The Bulls are coming off a high, including a dominant victory against the Pistons, showing they can really light up the scoreboard when they find their groove. DeMar DeRozan, the linchpin of the Bulls' attack, continues to post remarkable stats, crucial to their scoring efforts. Yet, Chicago's season shows a pattern of ups and downs, reflected in their 38-42 record, highlighting their struggles to keep a consistent pace. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks are displaying steadfast consistency and defensive tenacity, emerging as one of the NBA's toughest defensive squads with an average of only 108.1 points allowed per game. Jalen Brunson, on a scoring tear with an average of 28.4 points per game, has kept the Knicks' offense multifaceted and potent. Their recent triumphs over the league's heavyweights like the Bucks and Celtics underline a solid form that could spell trouble for Chicago. Looking at the stats, the Knicks outshine with superior shooting accuracy and rebounding prowess, key factors for game predictions. The Bulls' shaky defense might just be the break the Knicks need to let their sharpshooters and playmakers shine. Also, the Knicks' strong track record at Madison Square Garden adds to their home court advantage. Historical matchups in New York have tilted in favor of the Knicks, and recent encounters suggest this trend might continue, considering the current dynamics and momentum of both teams. Given the statistical advantages, particularly in shooting and rebounding, and the strategic acumen of Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau, the prediction strongly favors the Knicks not just to win, but also to decisively outperform expectations. With the added drive to clinch a higher playoff seed, the Knicks are poised for a commanding victory. In summary, anticipate the New York Knicks to leverage their home turf and superior form to overpower the Bulls. With Chicago possibly easing key players into rest for the playoffs, the Knicks are well placed to exploit this and clinch a solid victory, outperforming and outscoring the Bulls significantly. My money's on the New York Knicks to triumph and exceed expectations. The next prediction for today is for the game between Milwaukee Bucks and Orlando Magic. At the Kia Center, we're gearing up for a captivating showdown where the Milwaukee Bucks, securing the second seed in the Eastern Conference, face off against the Orlando Magic, who are clinging to the fifth seed after a series of unsteady games. Delving into the stats and past encounters, we uncover patterns that steer our game forecast. The Bucks hit the court boasting a robust offensive slate, dropping an average of 119.5 points per game with a field goal accuracy of 48.8%. Their prowess from the three-point line is notable, sinking 37.4% of their attempts. On defense, though, they reveal some cracks, allowing about 116.3 points per game and ranking lower in the league for defense. Conversely, Orlando adopts a more balanced game plan. They put up 110.4 points per game while holding down a formidable defense, ranking third in the NBA by restricting opponents to just 108.5 points per game. Their field goal percentage stands at a respectable 47.7%, slightly trailing Milwaukee's. A critical aspect of this clash is the health of key players. Milwaukee could be hit hard with Giannis Antetokounmpo sidelined by a calf injury and Damian Lillard's status up in the air. Their absence has already shown in the Bucks' recent slump, dropping 5 of their last 7 matches. Historically, Milwaukee has had the upper hand over Orlando, clinching 16 of their last 17 matchups. This includes a resounding 18-point win just days ago, showcasing their offensive firepower. Yet, missing Giannis and possibly Lillard could shift the game dynamics significantly. The Magic, on their home turf, where they have triumphed in 9 consecutive games against Eastern Conference favorites, aim to exploit Milwaukee's depleted lineup. Their knack for covering the spread in these games is unmatched, leading the NBA with a 61.7% cover rate. Considering all these elements, despite Milwaukee's recent victory over Orlando, the absences in their current dip in form suggest they might struggle, particularly on the road where they failed to beat the spread in 9 of their last 10 outings against Southeast Division teams with a positive record. Orlando, despite a recent 3-game skid, brings a full squad and the home court edge, potentially reversing their recent woes against Milwaukee, especially by leveraging their defensive edge and capitalizing on the Bucks' offensive gaps. Based on our analysis and the current dynamics, we predict Orlando to cover the 4-point spread. The total score is expected to fall below 215 points, factoring in both teams' defensive strengths and Milwaukee's key player absences. The next prediction for today is for the game between Phoenix Suns and Minnesota Timberwolves. As the Phoenix Suns prepare to clash with the Minnesota Timberwolves at Target Center this Sunday, both squads are riding high on some stellar performances. The Suns, demonstrating their tenacity, recently clinched a victory against the Clippers, fueled by Devin Booker's scorching 37-point game. Although the Timberwolves stumbled against the Nuggets, they've been a defensive fortress all season, thanks to Anthony Edwards' steady scoring and Rudy Gobert's supremacy in rebounding. Breaking down the Suns' play, they've been on fire with a 47-33 season tally, propelled by an explosive offense averaging 116.2 points per game. Their sharpshooting prowess is evident with a 49.2% field goal percentage and a notable 38.0% from three-point land. Yet, their defense could be tighter, surrendering 113.4 points per matchup. On the flip side, the Timberwolves claim the league's best defense, conceding just 106.3 points per game. Their offense doesn't lag either, boasting a 48.5% shooting accuracy. Sporting a 55-25 record, their balanced attack and control over rebounds and turnovers have been pivotal in their impressive run. Historically, the Timberwolves have had the upper hand in Minnesota, giving them an edge at the Target Center. Their recent performances there show a consistent edge in shooting efficiency and defensive robustness. Diving into team dynamics, Phoenix relies heavily on key players like Booker, while recent contributions from Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal underline their deep scoring capacity. However, Minnesota's defensive schemes, anchored by Gobert's presence in the paint, could dampen the Suns' offensive surges. This showdown also has playoff implications, with the Suns aiming for a better seed and the Timberwolves striving to keep their elite status in the Western Conference. With the Timberwolves' solid defense and home court advantage, and considering the Suns' shaky defense, Minnesota looks set to dominate. Given both teams' current forms and the tactical battle ahead, especially with Minnesota's defensive edge and Phoenix's recent grinding games, the Timberwolves are poised to overcome the Suns. With Minnesota's defense primed to curb Phoenix's potent offense, and given their own scoring efficiency, expect the total score to stay below the predicted 217.5 points, reflecting the defensive rigor typical of high-stakes games. In short, I foresee a victory for the Minnesota Timberwolves, overcoming the point difference, with the total score falling short of 217.5 points. The next prediction for today is for the game between Los Angeles Lakers and New Orleans Pelicans. This Sunday at the Smoothie King Center, the court heats up as the Los Angeles Lakers square off against the New Orleans Pelicans in a thrilling NBA showdown. Both squads are riding a wave of solid performances, yet the Lakers appear to have the upper hand based on recent dynamics and statistics. Despite a recent setback against the Golden State Warriors, where the Lakers' defense was less than stellar, their offensive prowess shone through. LeBron James was a force to be reckoned with, dropping 33 points and dishing out 11 assists. Throughout the season, the Lakers have been offensive juggernauts, ranking 7th in the NBA with an impressive average of 117.9 points per game and shooting 49.8% from the field. On the other side, the New Orleans Pelicans, fresh off a win against the Sacramento Kings, have shown some defensive cracks that the Lakers are poised to exploit. The Pelicans gave up a 54.8% shooting percentage to the Kings, revealing vulnerabilities that a high-caliber offense like the Lakers can take advantage of. Although the Pelicans boast a strong home record, their defense tends to falter against top-scoring teams. In previous encounters in New Orleans, the Lakers have demonstrated resilience and an ability to thrive under pressure, a testament to their experience and strategic play. Historically, games between these two have been tightly contested, with the Lakers leveraging their seasoned leadership and strategic depth. The Lakers' knack for clutch performance, spearheaded by LeBron James and Anthony Davis, positions them as formidable opponents likely to overcome the spread. Further analyzing their road games, the Lakers have maintained a high scoring rate even in tough environments, crucial for besting the Pelicans' home court advantage. The Lakers also have an edge in three-point shooting, hitting 37.7% this season, which could be decisive against the Pelicans' shaky perimeter defense. Given these insights, the Lakers are not only equipped with serious firepower but also the tactical savvy to keep the game close. With a 4.5-point spread on the table, their offensive strength and leadership are expected to shine in what promises to be a fiercely competitive matchup. In summary, anticipate a nail-biter where the Los Angeles Lakers are likely to cover the 4.5-point spread, driven by their potent offense and strategic execution in high-pressure situations. The last prediction for today is for the game between Dallas Mavericks and Oklahoma City Thunder. The Dallas Mavericks are set to clash with the Oklahoma City Thunder in a captivating NBA showdown at the Paycom Center. This encounter promises to be a display of sheer basketball finesse and tactical depth. The Mavericks come into this battle riding the high of a solid victory over the Heat, marked by a strong 49.4% shooting from the field and a tight defensive game. Yet, they are treading carefully this time, choosing to rest stars like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, given their secure playoff position, which might temper their usual aggressive approach. Meanwhile, the Thunder are ridding a wave of momentum following a decisive triumph over the Spurs, with a season shooting efficiency of 49.8%. Powered by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's averaging over 30 points per game, the Thunder are not just playing to win, they are gunning for the top playoff spot, further fueling their drive. The Mavericks' decision to strategically rest key players could tip the scales. Historically strong, their absence was felt during a recent loss to the Pistons, exposing some weaknesses. In contrast, the Thunder have displayed remarkable consistency, masterfully controlling the game's pace and space, vital against a Mavericks team not at full strength. From a statistical angle, the Thunder outshine with superior field goal and three-point efficiencies, key components in the modern fast-paced basketball era. Their defense, ranking 12th in points allowed, along with strong offensive rebounding, positions them well to exploit the Mavericks' current lineup limitations. In previous matchups at the Paycom Center, the Thunder have capitalized on their home court advantage, often surpassing the Mavericks in crucial stats like rebounds and assists, essential in tight games. Oklahoma City's recent performances have shown resilience and strategic adaptability, amplifying their edge in this contest. The analysis strongly favors the Oklahoma City Thunder not only to win but to do so convincingly. With Dallas missing key players and the Thunder's push for the top seed, Oklahoma City is poised to make significant gains. The total points are expected to remain below the 223.5 threshold, reflecting the anticipated dip in the Mavericks' offensive production. To wrap it up, reflecting on a January 31st game against the Timberwolves where the Mavericks fielded today's lineup and lost 121-87. A similar, if not more commanding, defeat seems likely. With the Thunder operating a more potent offense than the Timberwolves, a strong victory for Oklahoma City is anticipated, covering the spread and keeping total points under 223.5.